Hello, it is Tuesday the 6th of February and we're taking a look at Bitcoin and crypto. So Bitcoin has been in a really tricky sideways range. Yesterday we were talking about potentially a breakout because we had a pretty nice bullish move to start, and we looked at what level above would be our breakout level, and we failed. We had a nasty reversal. This is a 4-hour chart, and so now we're in this position where we've got all of our moving averages bunched up and flat. That means no trend, sideways consolidation, and we could argue that this is bullish whilst we're in an uptrend, and I wouldn't disagree with you. The problem is for me with these fib levels. So in spot Bitcoin, where we have stopped and are holding underneath is a 50% retrace from this high on the 11th of January to the low on the 23rd of January. So this high was the ETF launch, and this is where we are. And normally when you reverse at a 50% retrace level, which is here at 43,800, it's a little bit higher in the futures, you normally look for a 50% retrace the other way and 3 waves back. So if we flipped, so we know that therefore where our breakout level is above that 50%. But if we look for 50% pullback level, you can see that we haven't got here yet. It's lower at 41,194. So for me, I think that we could see still a bigger correction and back to these previous swing lows if we look left, and 41.94. If we're going to see another big leg higher is where we go to. Now clearly above 44,000 we're going up, and we're going to retest the top of the range. And for now, this is completely flat, and I much prefer to buy pullbacks than buy breakouts in a tricky fake out market. So I'm sitting on my hands, and I think this is a really good strategy, and waiting for potentially that bigger pullback. And here, if we measure from this high to this low and project it from this high we made yesterday, we're not quite there at that 50%. We might overshoot it, but that's kind of where I'm looking for. So we might double top here. I'm not ruling out a false breakout that retests these highs, but really only kind of holding above that 44,000 level would confirm this then as a kind of continuation inverted head and shoulders pattern and looking for higher. So sitting on my hands at the moment, we're a little bit sideways in so many markets. Here is a daily chart of ETH. You can see where we are stuck underneath. We've had from the high that we made on the last day of January, we've had a pullback, and this to me, I have to say, looks like another B leg. So we go 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and another leg lower. And whilst we hold underneath these moving averages, still bearish for me. Now we could draw this as a little channel here, couldn't we, in ETH? And a breakdown of this channel would see another leg lower. So yeah, flat moving averages. Look at these hourly, we're all sideways, we're all bunched up, no real trend trade or the problem was, when you're going choppy, normally in a trending market, you want to buy pullbacks or bounces, or you sell bounces. And when we're doing this and choppy and going sideways, there is no kind of trend to lean on to trade that way. You kind of need to buy low, buy the bottom of the range, sell the top of the range, and don't diddle in the middle. And diddle in the middle is exactly kind of where we are with ETH at the moment. So let's take a look at some more coins that have had some really interesting big moves. So let's find SEI, which we have been watching for a while. These are coin requests. Now for me, this looks like a very nice corrective pattern. Whenever you get choppy overlapping price action, which is what we can see here if we take everything away, this choppy overlapping price action in SEI points to a correction. So it's all going to be a matter of when is this correction over. to me, this looks like a very nice textbook equal measured move lower here, 3 swings. And so potentially we've started, as long as we don't make a new low or just retest the low, we're getting ready for the next swing higher and a breakout from this consolidation. And you can see I've drawn it as a little flag pattern. So we've got a really long pole and we're building our flag. We were looking for a breakout by getting above this 61.8 level at 0.69 yesterday, and we didn't break out. We're holding our equal measured move level. Now, that all looks very good, doesn't it? Now, the other thing I like to look at in corrections, because sometimes equal measured moves, you kind of do a little bit more than that, so it can be 1272 or bigger. But for me, when you reverse at a 786 fib, which I kind of think we did here, I don't think we reached the 886, but we very nearly did, didn't we? And this is quite a spike. I tend to see the 50% level as a bit of a pivot level. And in crypto, when you make bottoms and tops, you can see from this high and then holding above it. When you make bottoms and tops, very often you kind of retest them and you make a marginal new high or a marginal new low. So as long as we kind of don't drop underneath this 54.74, I'm looking for a bullish reversal. Our moving averages have gone flat. On the daily, they've bunched up. So back above them would be, for me, the clearest signal that we're going up again. And so I'm going to get rid of that. And so back above this daily 20 moving average, which is basically yesterday's high, I would say we're going up again. Now we can see that this is also quite an interesting pivot level. So 0.64, 0.65 actually. If this is corrective, we'll just make a corrective 3-wave swing and continue lower. And 0.54, this is one of those levels I'd put an alarm at to look for a bullish reversal. So for our moving averages, for me, the trend, you know, lower highs, lower lows, everything says SCI hasn't bottomed yet, but I'm watching the signs and I wouldn't be surprised to see it dip down one little bit lower to 0.5478. So not a buy yet, but bigger picture, you know, this is all corrective price action, so we just need to be patient and stalk that long entry. I am watching this one for myself, so when I see it, I'll yell. Okay, let's take a look at some more. Let's take a look at BitSensor, which is Tau, and see what's going on with that one. Here we go. This is a pretty nice breakout today. Now, this is quite a difficult one because we were looking at where, you know, I do a lot of fib projections and I look at where do all the levels line up. I think we're in a very nice fifth wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they can extend quite a long way. And we are certainly accelerating here as we break higher in BitSensors. Now, for me, let's hide quite. For me, as long as we hold above, I think 447 to 470, which is our kind of breakout and where our previous swing high was, the next upside targets. For me, I've got a little bit of a wobble level at 590, but most of it comes in around 640 to 645, and we're only at 500 at the moment. So that means we have got very nice more upside. The problem is with when you back test levels and breakouts, you don't always just test the level. You may go a little bit lower. And so, you know, you can see when we trend higher in BitSensor, we don't tend to close below the previous day's lows. So I think that we can say that if we do get a nasty pullback, we shouldn't close underneath 447, and we're still going higher, and we're looking to buy pullbacks for 645 with a bit of a wobble level at maybe 593. So here, when I look at this on an hourly, remember we're in a really nice uptrend. I'm looking for another fifth wave here. This is a really nice consolidation, and we're almost setting up here for the next hourly. Not quite, but yes, this is setting up an hourly buy. I prefer in a trending market 4 hourly buys because I find that hourly you kind of need to keep a closer eye on, but this is what I'm looking at, and it is setting up really nicely for more upside in bit sense or yes. So 590 and then 645 on the next swing higher. In this one, I would only be bearish if we closed back underneath 450. Let's take a look at Ripple. Haven't looked at this one for a bit. Now, in Ripple, last time we looked at Ripple, our support level and this 786 fib level that we were looking to hold here is acting as pretty good support still. It's at 0.498. Now, haven't flipped our 4-hour moving averages, haven't flipped our hourly. I'd really like to see it, but yes, I do think this is a pretty interesting level, and I'm going to be really bullish above 0.55. If this is just a bounce and a downtrend, I think 0.54 and 0.5455 are the two resistance levels we should be watching out for, that we don't reverse that. But yeah, setting up, making a base, it's not quite shouting buy to me yet, but it's certainly, I wouldn't be selling into this key support level unless we got underneath it and it became resistance. For example, we've traded underneath it here on lower time frames, but we got back and above that level again and found support from it. So only underneath and getting resistance says we have further to go lower. And you know, really, when you get a level like this, you know where you're wrong, so the closest you buy to it is almost the best idea. So Ripple holding support, super bullish above 0.55. Let's see what we do. If we lose this 0.498 level, we could retest the lows, but at the moment I think it looks all right. So let's take a look at Link. Now Link, as you know, the 236 fib retrace for me is a really big touchstone level. I want to see a reaction at it, and if we break above it, for me, we're in a bigger rally. And here, that's exactly what we got in Link. When we were making a base down here, this 236 fib level was my first target at 16.26. And what we got here was a bullish flag. We held above these weekly moving averages and broken out higher to new highs. Now, all looking really good, right? We are getting pretty close, though, to a big 5 waves, and so we need to be a little bit careful here. At the moment, I think we're trending higher, and as long as we hold above this 236 fib level, I'm looking for 23.28 next, and we are holding 4-hour moving averages. Not quite a buy yet, needs to turn, stabilize, and trend higher. But yeah, more upside to come. Buy pullbacks in Link, and 23.286 is the next upside target. Above 23.286, I think we should do 50% next of this entire correction. 28.95, then 34. I'm just going level to level to level at the moment, and for me, when I look at this daily chart, I think we're a little bit stretched, you know, from this daily 20 moving average. So I would be quite cautious about buying for that bigger hold without, you know, I'd just like to see a day or two red to buy against, to be honest. But yes, looking really good for more upside in Link. Okay, next one we're going to look at. Request is for IMX. Let's see where I've hidden that one. Excuse my dog. Okay, I thought I had this chart ready and I can't see it. So here we go, IMX. When we look at this one on the weekly, this was a very nice reaction at the 236 fib, so we're going level to level to level, and here I have to say we've stopped at the 50% level. So just like Bitcoin, we're at a little bit of a risk, unless we make a new high, that we're going to do a bigger pullback and 50% of the entire rally. So 2.52 is this 50% level. I think we continue higher to 3 and then 3.75 if we can close above this, but potentially we could see that bigger pullback here. So we need to watch out. From this low to high then, I'm looking for either lower high or a double top and a bigger pullback, and 1.49 to be support, and I'm wrong, and we're going to keep going higher if we hold above 2.52 in IMX. Okay, let's take a look. There's a few charts that I'm looking at that a lot of these alts have made really nice corrective patterns. So for example, sushi. When I look at this looks like a lovely big 3-wave equal measured move, and now we're kind of consolidating sideways. Could we still pull back a little bit further in this one? Yes, we could, but when this breaks out or this closes above the daily 50 moving average, I think we're on target for the top of this flag and the next swing higher. So there are quite a few of these altcoins that have these really nice choppy overlapping corrective patterns that I'm watching. So let me know if there's anything you'd like me to look at.